The psychology of market crashes. What if I told you most stock market crashes are not caused by numbers but by human emotions, fear, greed, panic, herd mentality? Every major crash in history, from the 1929 Great Depression to the 2008 financial crisis to the 2020 COVID crash, had one thing in common: humans reacting emotionally. And if you understand the psychology behind market crashes, you stop being a victim of panic and start seeing opportunity where others see disaster. Today, we'll understand the psychology of market crashes and why ordinary investors lose money while calm investors build wealth. The market is human emotion. The stock market looks logical from the outside: charts, data, earning, numbers. But in reality, the market is a giant machine of human emotions. Every buy button is driven by hope, every sell button is driven by fear. When prices rise, people feel smart, confidence increases, greed grows, and suddenly everyone believes prices can go higher only. This creates bubbles. People stop asking, is this company worth it? Instead, they ask, how much more can it rise? That's when danger begins. Then comes a trigger. Maybe bad news, maybe recession fears, maybe rising interest rates. And suddenly, the same people who were greedy yesterday become terrified today. That emotional switch creates crashes. Herd mentality. One of the strongest psychological forces in market is herd mentality. Humans evolved to follow the crowd. Thousands of years ago, staying with the tribe increased survival. But in investing, following the crowd can destroy wealth. When markets crash, people don't think independently. They look around and see panic everywhere. News channels scream, markets are collapsing. Social media spreads fear. Friends start selling. And the brain interprets this as danger. So investors rush to sell, not because they analyzed businesses, but because everyone else is selling. This creates a chain reaction. More selling causes lower prices. Lower prices cause more fear. More fear creates more selling. That's why crashes fall much faster than market rise. Fear spreads quicker than optimism. Loss aversion. Psychologists discovered something fascinating. People feel the pain of loss much more strongly than the pleasure of gains. Losing 1 lakh hurts more than gaining 1 lakh feels good. This is called loss aversion, and it explains why investors panic during crashes. Imagine your portfolio falls 30%. Even if you believed in the companies before, your brain now screams, stop the pain. So people sell at the worst possible time. Ironically, the fear of temporary loss often creates permanent loss. Because when investors sell during panic, they lock in damage. Meanwhile, patient investors stay invested and benefit from recovery later. Historically, markets have recovered from every major crash, but emotional investors rarely stay long enough to see it. The media fear machine. Media plays a massive role during market crashes. Fear gets attention, and attention makes money. That's why headline during crashes become dramatic. Bloodbath on Dalal Street. Investors lose lakhs of crores. Worst crash in year. Negative news spreads faster because the human brain is wired to notice threats. Psychologists call this negativity bias. When people constantly consume fearful news, they start making emotional decisions instead of rational ones. But here's something important: the media reports what already happened. By the time panic reaches television, smart money is often preparing to buy. Great investors understand this. While crowd panic, experienced investors quietly look for opportunities. Why crashes create wealth? Every market crash feels like the end of the world, but historically, crashes have created some of the greatest wealth building opportunities. Why? Because good companies temporarily become cheap. Imagine your favorite product suddenly gets a 40% discount. You would be excited, but in the stock market, people become scared instead. That's because emotions overpower logic. Legendary investors like Warren Buffett once said, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Simple words, extremely difficult in practice. Because during crashes, buying feels dangerous, but long term wealth is often created during period of maximum fear. The investors who become successful are usually the ones who stay calm while others panic. The cycle repeats forever. Here's the fascinating part. Humans never learn permanently. Every generation believes this time is different. During bull market, people think crashes are impossible. During crashes, people think recovery is impossible. Both emotions are temporary. Markets move in cycles: optimism, greed, bubble, fear, panic, recovery, again and again. Understanding this cycle gives investor a huge advantage because when you realize panic is normal, you stop reacting emotionally. And emotional control is one of the biggest advantages in investing. How smart investors think. Smart investors prepare psychologically before crashes happen. They understand crashes are not accidents, they are part of investing. Instead of trying to predict every crash, they build systems, investing regularly, diversifying, holding quality businesses, keeping emergency savings, avoiding emotional decisions. The goal is not to avoid volatility, the goal is to survive it calmly because surviving crashes is what allows long term compounding to work. At the end of the day, market crashes are less about economics and more about human psychology. Fear and greed move markets more than logic, and the investor who wins long term are usually not the smartest, they are the calmest. So, next time the market crashes, remember panic is temporary, human emotions are predictable, and history rewards patient investors.